have spoken openly about how suppressing your own emotions for decades affected you physically and even impacted your daughter's health. And Grandma tells Mr. Miles that we need to talk openly about our emotions to keep the wheel spinning. That's not just a nice idea for you. So, how much of your own life is behind that one lesson?
It's taken me a long time, but I've learned to be very open about my childhood. I am a survivor of child abuse from the age of 7, and I was taught to keep secrets for many, many years, up until the point that I could no longer keep the big secrets. It was making me very ill. You see, if we suppress trauma and emotions, we pass this trauma onto our children at the cellular level when they come into this world. The good thing is that it's never too late to heal. And when we choose to heal, we're not only healing ourselves, we are also healing our lineage of past, present and future.
So, hello everyone, and welcome back to Pages of Pandora. Today, I have a conversation that I have been genuinely looking forward to. We are going to talk about a children's book, but honestly, this is so much more than just a children's book. It is called Grandma and Mr. Miles Go to India, written by Karen, and it teaches young children about the 7 chakras in the most imaginative way I have ever seen. Karen is the founder of Mindfulness Matters. She is qualified meditation coach and biofield tuner, sound healing facilitator, and she is classically trained in opera, which is a combination you definitely don't come across every day. She's also been through an extraordinary personal healing journey that really shapes everything she puts into her work. She started her holistic path back in 2006 after years of battling ill health that came from a very difficult childhood and decades of suppressed trauma. She has turned that pain into a purpose, and this book is a beautiful expression of that. Karen, thank you so much for being here today. It's a real pleasure.
Oh, the pleasure's all mine. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
One of the things that I really loved about the book is the character of Grandma. She's got this little bun, she lives in Old Bell Cottage, she has got this magic carpet laid out in the garden. I badly want to know how much of Grandma is actually you.
So, yes, Grandma is in fact me, without the grey hair, of course. However, I'm naturally embracing that now. So I live in a very old cottage in a small village deep in the heart of England. I have an absolute passion for travel and have been lucky enough to see some amazing places in the world throughout my lifetime. Mr. Miles is actually my grandson, and I always tell him about the wonderful stories of the different places I've visited around the world. So essentially, I'm writing about my life and the lessons that I've learned along the way. The purple magic carpet is symbolic of astral travel, and I just wanted to convey a message to children that we can go anywhere that we want to in this world if we only dare to dream. I think this is a really important message to give to our children.
That's really beautiful. You can really feel that authenticity while reading it. It almost feels like Grandma is someone we all wish we had in our lives.
Me too.
So you actually went to India yourself on a solo trip that you have described as a massive turning point in your life. So I want to know more about it. What happened there that changed everything for you?
Yeah, so I'd already been on a journey of awakening for about 15 years. However, 8 years ago, I was going through some huge changes and releases in my life. My husband and I had separated after a 20-year marriage, and I'd just lost my mum. So I decided to go on a solo retreat in Goa. I was already a dedicated meditator, full gurus who taught me various forms of meditation, including Yoga Nidra, Trakata. The experience was profound. And when I returned to England, I decided to train and become a meditation teacher. So the journey of deep exploration and self-inquiry really started there. I then started to further tap into my talents as an opera singer and as a musician. So I then became qualified in biofield tuning, as I understood how frequencies can help people at the cellular level.
Wow, that kind of trip changes you don't even realize immediately, right?
Yeah, it was a great experience. It really was.
Even I actually have been to Taj Mahal myself, and I remember just standing there completely speechless for a moment, and there's this peaceful energy there. what was your overall experience like when you first saw it in person? And out of all of the places in India, why did you choose Taj Mahal specifically?
Well, yeah, I mean, well, I haven't actually visited the Taj Mahal. I've only actually ever been to sort of like the Taj Mahal because it's such an iconic landmark in India that I knew people would recognise and resonate with.
Wow, I completely relate to that feeling. So,
Yeah.
Karen, for people listening who might not know much about chakras, are these specifically recognized in medicine or is this purely a spiritual thing? Where does the idea originally come from?
Yeah, so the chakra system originated in ancient India through spiritual traditions and texts between about 1500 to 500 BC. It then spread into Hinduism and Buddhism. The word chakra literally means wheel or disc in Sanskrit. So essentially, they are energy centers and assist with moving prana, which is our life force, through the body. We have 7 primary chakras within the physical body. We also have chakras in our hands and feet and in the biofield. However, for the purpose of the book, I just wanted to keep it simple for children to understand and teach the importance of keeping them clear and balanced. Unfortunately, they're not recognised in mainstream medicine. However, I'm beginning to see a real paradigm shift in that area, and I think this will change in the not too distant future.
Wow, that's really interesting. My next question is, a lot of parents might be wondering at what age can kids actually start understanding this stuff? Is there a right age to introduce chakras and mindfulness to children?
Yeah, well, I have a 2.5-year-old grandson, and I actively encourage him to regulate his nervous system. And this book is a great tool in that process. The book is pitched between 5 to 7-year-olds. However, I've actually had grown-ups say to me that they've learned a lot from it in terms of learning about each chakra and what emotion is linked to it. And speaking from my own childhood, and like many other people, I was taught it wasn't safe to speak up. This caused me a lot of issues with repressed emotions in my mid-30s and early 40s that then I had to deal with later on in life. So the earlier the better in terms of teaching our children about chakras, along with the part they play in regulating our emotions.
Okay, so while I was going through your website, I noticed that you offer 4 free sessions a month through Mindfulness Matters for people who can't afford it. That says a lot about you, who you are. So, how does this book fit into the bigger mission? Is that a start of a series?
It is, and so at a certain point in my journey, I realised that I could pass on my knowledge, and I gained from my own healing journey. So I made it a primary focus and mission to be in service to others. Not everyone can afford to receive biofield tuning, and it's really important for me to see the people in my practice who really need it. I then began to realise that if children were taught early in their childhood about allowing themselves to actually feel their emotions in a healthy way, they wouldn't have to seek healing facilitators like me later on in life. So yes, this is the first book in a series. I've just finished my second book, which is Grandma and Mr. Miles Go to Mexico to Learn About Meditation. I actually finished the book when I was in Mexico, just in February, just gone. So hopefully there will be 5 books in total. I try to write about the places that I've visited in the world. I've been to Mexico quite a few times, and it was really important for me to feel the energy of the land whilst I was writing the book.
Wow, that's amazing. I want to ask you something personal here. You have spoken openly about how suppressing your own emotions for decades affected you physically and even impacted your daughter's health. When grandma tells Mr. Miles that we need to talk openly about our emotions to keep the wheel spinning, that's not just a nice idea for you. So, how much of your own life is behind that one lesson?
Yeah, a lot. It's taken me a long time, but I've learned to be very open about my childhood. I am a survivor of child abuse from the age of 7, and I was taught to keep secrets for many, many years, up until the point that I could no longer keep the big secret, as it was making me very ill. You see, if we suppress trauma and emotions, we pass this trauma onto our children at the cellular level when they come into this world. The good thing is that it's never too late to heal. And when we choose to heal, we're not only healing ourselves, we are also healing our lineage of past, present, and future.